Hi, my name's Robert Erskine and I'm a sculptor, and I have an international reputation for the work that I've been creating this last 20 years or so. I work in a very large scale and I also work in a very small scale, and whichever scale I work in, my sculptures tend to start life as these sort of sizes that you see here. These are actually working scales models, otherwise known as maquettes. That's French for scale model. And these sculptures are very intimate, very unique, and they kick off some of my large landmark sculptures, for which I have many dotted around the United Kingdom as well as Europe. One of my favourite pieces is a sculpture called Quintessection, which is in Sunderland outside the city of Durham, and that sculpture won a very important award, the Sir Otto Beit Award for International Public Sculpture. I was very proud of this piece because I shared the prize with the communities of Sunderland, who are very famous for 700 years of shipbuilding. Another one of my sculptures further down the country in England is Roll Down, and Roll Down is sited outside Birmingham in a very important area that was synonymous with steel production. Now, the work of a sculptor isn't always about expressing himself personally, it's also about being given a brief and being asked to design specific sculptures for a particular area, and I find that really challenging and energizing, and Roll Down is one of my most favourite pieces that I've made to date. This is the scale model of it here, and it ended up being nearly 50 feet high. If we now go further down the country away from Birmingham and we go over to the west side, we come to a place called Stoke-on-Trent, and my sculpture The Shard, and this is the scale model of it here, is a very unique sculpture. It has a real person's fingerprint which has been scaled up to a huge size. It's nearly 30 foot across, and this sculpture was put in a brand new retail park and a regeneration area of Stoke in the town of Tunstall. What's unique about it is it's the only sculpture in Great Britain that really says something about the establishment of the potteries, which is very, very important to the British tradition of ceramic manufacture. It's placed near the Wedgwood factory, which has now closed, but what it says is there's a lot of energy to be found in that part of Great Britain. Now, currently I'm working on my biggest sculpture to date, which is going into Manchester in an area called Openshaw. And Openshaw is the most famous part of the United Kingdom for industrial machinery and also engineering innovation. The sculpture is based on a steam hammer, a Nasmyth steam hammer, which was invented in 1840. And the site where the sculpture is going was the actual site where the first steam hammer was invented and also produced. Without the steam hammer, the Industrial Revolution would really have never got off to a start. And I would say this is pretty much what my work is about. I have to get on to a starting point with any of my commissioned sculptures. Each one is unique. Each one pushes the barrier forwards from the one before. So whether they're great large ones, landmark sculptures for which I now have quite a good reputation, or small pieces such as this scale, they're very, very collectible, and I'd be absolutely delighted to work with you on any of your developments if you're a property developer or an architect or just a private collector who really likes to get his teeth into some very exciting sculpture, because that's what I like to do. I like to create exciting sculptures which are full of energy, full of life, and have a bit of depth to them as well.